What's up? What's up? What's up? Even though y'all can't see me yet, because I can still see the intro playing on my TV. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? First off, let's get over to the chat and say what's going on, everybody. Scott McNeil, you already know, first man in the house. Eric is second. Running Close is second. Party on the Seas. Cruise Nuts, what's going on? Cruising for Food. Wanda, what's going on, girl? I am back. Yes. Me and Scott are back. We made it back all the way from our transatlantic crossing from Tampa, Florida to Barcelona, Spain. And let me tell you, it was absolutely amazing. It was a great 13-day transatlantic cruise. We'll get into that. But let's finish saying hi to everybody. Doug is in the house. What's going on, Doug? Cameron, Tess Almon, Carla McClendon, you are all here. I appreciate all y'all for jumping in here. If you don't mind, share it out. Let's get some more people in here. I see there's 12 of us so far. So let's get those likes up to 12 likes and let's get this shared out so we can talk more about my amazing time on the Carnival Pride. Oh my God. It was an epic trip. First off, the second annual Boats and Bros cruise was a hit. It was amazing. And if you see me glancing over to the left, that's where I got the chat popped out at. It makes it so much easier for me instead of looking on this little itty bitty IMAX screen I got going on. External tower makes it so much better. I should have picked a different color shirt. My background and my shirt flow together. You know, Wanda, the hair's on fleek. I got to do the hair before I come on here because, you know, YouTube does this thing. It saves your live videos so people can watch it again afterwards. I need to make sure the hair looks all right and I don't look like a fool. The times you see me wearing a hat, just know that the hair did not look good and I threw a hat on the head to cover up that mess. But let's talk about my trip on the Carnival Pride. Oh, my God, it was amazing. First things first. The Boats and Bros cruise, second annual cruise, went off without a hitch. It was great spending time with everybody. I can't wait to make the announcement later on tonight about Boats and Bros 3. Yes, I think I have found my itinerary. Yes, it is out of Florida, and it's more than 4 days. So there's that. But that's where it started. It started on Easter Sunday, boarding the Carnival Pride. We were wearing Easter masks. I had Easter eggs on my face. Scott had bunny ears. It was great. We got on that ship ready to have a good time. It was epic. But the most epic part was that transatlantic. Now let's talk about it. 7 days at sea is what started that trip off. The original itinerary before it was changed had you go into Bermuda to break up those sea days. They dropped that off the itinerary way before we even left. So I knew that wasn't an option to begin with, but I enjoyed it. Let me tell you right now, I enjoyed the sea days. It got to me a little bit at certain times because my first transatlantic, I came over from Europe. I came over from Southampton, England, and I hit port stops along the way, and then I had 7 days to relax before getting off and going home. Well, on this one was a little different. I had 7 sea days to relax before getting off and exploring all of Europe. So it was a little different, but it was still a great trip. Like, it was epic. 7 days, 7 wonderful, glorious days at sea. The weather was perfect. The seas were calm. It was gorgeous. A little chilly at certain times. Don't get me wrong. You're sailing across the Atlantic, and the way we went, we came out the Straits of Florida and up the East Coast a little bit and then went over. So we were pretty much in line with Massachusetts making our crossing. However, it was still great. The weather was still great. The seas were still calm. 7 beautiful days to do nothing but relax. First port stop, Punta del Gorda. And what's the first thing I see? Pineapples. So y'all already know I had a field day over in Punta del Gorda with the pineapples. And it's fascinating because here's a little history for you about the pineapples over there. They are nothing like the pineapples we got over here. But it takes 2 years to grow one pineapple over there, and they grow them in glass greenhouses on the mountainside. And they pick them when they're about this big. So they're about 6 to 7 inches tall when they pick them, and they're so sweet, and they're full of so much flavor. The sweetness is on point. The acid is on point. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you want a good pineapple, you need to get yourself over to Europe and go to Puente del Gorda in the Azores, and you'll have yourself the best pineapple. And I tell you, me and Scott, we had a field day. Like, that was one of the greatest things. We loved that stop because we got chicken peri peri. That was phenomenal. We enjoyed walking around. It was just great. And that's the one thing me and Scott did for this whole cruise is we did not book any excursions. No excursions. Not a single one. And we still had days full of amazing sights and things that we did. If you're in the Facebook group, you'll see because we went and photo dumped every day. So it was an epic experience. It was an epic trip. Seeing the Gothic cathedrals and just the alleyways and the streets and popping off of an alleyway and grabbing some paella in Spain. Phenomenal. The food was phenomenal. And y'all already know, like, I'm a foodie, right? Like, I like to eat the local food and see the local scenes and be part of the local vibe. I had Scott eating stuff he would never in his life would imagine he would have ever ate. So it was absolutely epic. So on this transatlantic, we had 3 amazing port stops. We did Puente del Gorda in the Azores. We took the amazing trip through the Straits of Gibraltar, where you had the Gibraltar Rock on one side and then Africa on the other. Unfortunately, we passed through there in the middle of the night, and it was an early port stop the next day. Like, I mean, 7 a.m. early, and we didn't pass through until about 1:30 in the morning. And it was a night there where we went ahead another hour. So we were already losing an hour. Me and Scott didn't stay up. But I did put a GoPro out before I went to sleep, and I recorded the time lapse of going through the Straits and past the Rock of Gibraltar. So that's pretty cool. So that was one of the new things for me. I never got to do that before. Scott never got to do that. So it was pretty cool. And then going through there, our next stop was Malaga, Spain. And Cameron, I see your comments, probably not as big of a foodie as she is. You're completely wrong. I'm probably a bigger foodie than she is, bro, because I pick cruise ports, destinations, and restaurants based off of food. So I'm a pretty big foodie. Like, there's not much in this world I would not try and eat and love to eat. So maybe we're tied for first place, but I guarantee you, I'm a pretty big foodie. And me and Wanda, if we got together and did a cruise and we just made vlogs about food, it'd be never ending. But anyway, the first stop after Puente del Gorda was Malaga, Spain. Let me give you a heads up. If you're going to go here, y'all already know y'all need to get a cab. Y'all need to get a cab. You need to get some roller skates in your luggage. You need to pack a scooter. You need to do something, because it's a 2.5 mile walk from the dock to the main gate. So you really need to think of that before you go. And there was not many cabs around in the early morning hours. But nonetheless, we walked it. It was epic. We walked everywhere. It was great because getting back to the ship, the first thing Scott said was, "Where's our steps?" Because, I got that Apple Watch. So Scott always wanted to know how many steps we took, how many miles we walked, and all that fun stuff. But definitely a far walk from the terminal to the exit of the terminal to where you're starting to hit the city. Malaga, Spain was gorgeous. We walked around. There's an old Roman, salt bathhouse there. There was a fortress we went up into. We went and seen. Walked around Spain super, super early. There was nothing was open. We were there at the butt crack of dawn. So we were super early. Nothing was open. We stumbled across this alleyway. We stopped to get coffee. We got a ham and cheese toastie and coffee. And the one place we stumbled into was owned by an Englishman. So go figure. You're in Spain. You want some espresso. You stumble into a place owned by an Englishman. It is what it is. Coffee was great. Food was great. His wife was from Spain. So it is what it is. It made it worth it. But we just enjoyed the day. We walked around. And that was Malaga. Malaga was beautiful. We went to a fortress. Everywhere you went in this fortress, where you stood, looked out over the city, beautiful views for miles and miles. Absolutely gorgeous. But my favorite of them all would have been Valencia. Absolutely. If I could go anywhere tonight, it would be Valencia, Spain. If you have never been, please do some research and look into Valencia, Spain as a destination to put on your list, because it is one of the most beautiful, beautiful cities I've ever seen in my life. We went into this cathedral. It cost us €8 each. And this cathedral was just absolutely gorgeous. It was a Gothic style cathedral. It was just, if you're a religious person, it's definitely one of those places that's going to pull on your heartstrings for sure. So there was a few times I had tears in my eyes when I was making a vlog. You'll see that in the very near future as I start working on those videos. But absolutely beautiful. And that was my favorite stop of them all. And then unfortunately, we had to go to Barcelona where we had to get off. Now, that's not the unfortunate part. Like, we got the tour of Barcelona. It was great. The hotel we had was a little far out of the like tourist center area. We wanted to walk around. And we got off the ship relatively early. We were off the ship. It was still dark outside. We had all of our bags, and off the ship, I think it was by like 7 a.m. So we were one of the first ones off the ship. We caught a cab to the hotel, and then we couldn't check into the hotel until 3. So what do? We walked across the street and went to Starbucks. And then after, I said, okay, let's just walk to the city center. So I mapped it, and we just hoofed it all the way to the city center. We walked all the way. Now, this is like a 4.5 mile walk at like 8:30 in the morning, just getting off the cruise ship. Where we just came from, we literally turned around and walked back. Cab ride cost us €30 to get from the cruise port to the hotel. And we walked it. I was like, we're catching a cab back, bro. I'm not walking all the way back. But just be ready. If you go to Spain and you do a transatlantic, or you go to Portugal or anything like that, there's definitely a lot of walking involved, a lot of uphill both ways. So I kind of get that feeling like when my parents tell me that story, I used to have to walk to school uphill both ways with one shoe. That's kind of how you feel when you walk around Spain and you're walking on cobblestone and all that. But it was absolutely amazing. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Definitely one of the best trips I have taken in a long time, and probably one of the ones that I will always have in the memory bank. So it's definitely awesome. Listen, it's not shame on me, Tess. Like, we were there super early, so there was nothing open. Like, Starbucks was the only place that was open. So if you wanted a cup of coffee, it was either Starbucks or the hotel coffee, and that was definitely out of the question. So where the hotel was that we stayed in Barcelona, it was like literally in the business district. So if you wanted a cup of coffee right then and there, you had to settle for Starbucks. You had no other option. But it made do. It worked. It passed the time. And then as we got further in, I definitely got some regular coffee. I think Scott was coffeeed out at that point. I was still getting coffee and espresso as we were walking, and Scott was just getting Cokes. Scott was getting Cokes everywhere. But y'all, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And one of the greatest things about like the whole trip, when we got off the 4-day, I seen Joey Boyles, the cruise director. If you don't know who he is, he's the fiance of Kendall. Awesome cruise director. Probably one of the best that I have cruised with, other than, like Lee Mason, Cookie, the Flying Scotsman, stuff like that. But he is definitely up there in that category. And I told him, I said, I want one thing when we get off of this ship. And he was like, well, what's that? And I was like, I want your name tag. He's like, I got you. I'll give it to you the last day. Man, we're getting off the boat 6:30 in the morning. He comes up and he hands me his name tag. So I got Joey's name tag. That was pretty epic. But I donated a nice amount of money to Groove for St. Jude, like I always do. So we'll touch base on that too. But I'm just so excited to see everybody in the chat. Would you ever do a group cruise in Europe and go to Spain? I would absolutely do a group cruise in Europe. I was talking with Kurt from See Me Traveling this morning, and we were talking about group cruises. And I know I have my Boats and Bros group cruise that I do every year, just for me and the guys to go and enjoy ourselves. But we were talking about future group cruises and would I do one? And yes, the answer is yes. I would do a group cruise, and I would probably do a transatlantic group cruise, because transatlantic cruises get a lot of misjudged information from people that have never done them. So don't listen to other people when they say, oh, the seas were horrible and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. Listen, I've been on 2 of them so far, and the seas have been absolutely beautiful every single day. No rough seas. We did the 4-day prior for the Boats and Bros, and me and Scott both had to go back to the cabin because we were getting sick. Now, Scott was getting sick because he had a little bit more alcohol in his system. I was completely sober, and the waves and the seas were getting to me. Like, we were sitting down at dinner, and I had to cancel my order and go back to the cabin and get some sleep. So, you know, I couldn't do that. We had a rough day on there. What's going on, John V? I know who you are, man. I know who you are. I seen you up on the bridge as we were leaving, going under the Skyway Bridge. I know who you are, my brother. Thanks for being here. But it was epic. It was great. And there's a lot of people that will tell you, like, the seas are this and this and that, and it's horrible, and the weather. It was absolutely beautiful. I wore shorts every day. Now, I did get a little chilly to where I had to put a hoodie on one or 2 days, but other than that, I was in shorts every single day. Every single day I was in shorts. So yes, I would absolutely consider a transatlantic group cruise, or even just a Mediterranean group cruise. It'll be your 3rd time on the Glory, but you loved it, and a chance to do a TA. Yeah, so I haven't looked into that yet. I'm going to, but I don't know. It's a little tricky because I was telling Scott I want to try and get over to Europe and do a few cruises in Europe, because you don't really see a lot of like US content-based creators going over and doing European cruises. So like Mediterranean cruises and things like that are definitely on my radar, and different cruise lines are definitely on my radar. Yeah, no, I'm not flying out of Miami or flying into Miami. Let's just leave that where that's at. And it's great because TAP Portugal, that's who we flew. TAP Portugal Airlines. Now, out of Barcelona, we had a layover in Lisbon. Not bad. They charged me an extra 125 euros. I'm not even going to front on that. I'm not even going to talk about that. Let's not even discuss that. But for us to fly from Barcelona, Spain to Miami International, it cost us like $300 and some a piece. I think it was like total of like $900 after bags or whatever it was. But it was absolutely epic. So flying to Miami for less than $500 a person from Spain wasn't bad at all. And TAP Portugal, they get a lot of like mixed reviews. Me and Scott had a great experience with both flights. Both legs of the flights, we had a great experience. The food was great. The service was great. The flight crew was awesome. The entertainment options were awesome. So it was definitely well worth flying TAP Portugal to save a little bit of money. So what was your best meal of the entire trip? That's a little tricky, but I probably have to go with my seafood paella. That was so, oh my God, the rice was salty. And I know you're gluten-free, so I apologize about some things I'm going to say, but the rice, the seafood, the shrimp, the cuttlefish, everything was just like cooked perfectly. Absolutely cooked perfectly. And then when we were in Barcelona, we went to this little restaurant right on the main strip. They had chicken paella, which I ordered, which was good. Scott had to be an American and go with a cheeseburger. And then we ordered this pork loin sandwich. So it was literally this hard, like French baguette style bread with these thin slices of pork loin and like this tomato ketchup spread. That was really good. As basic and simple as it was, the flavors were phenomenal. The bread was incredible. It was nice. It was crunchy. It was doughy. It was airy. That was amazing. That was a good meal too. But just being in Europe and eating food in Europe is way better than eating food here in the States. And it's sad to say it, but the food quality over there, so much better than what it is over here. And the cost is way less than what you would spend here. Like we ate at the airport. For what we ate at the airport here in the States probably would have been like 50, 60 bucks. Over there, the airport food we got was like 18 euros. So it was way, way cheaper and it was way fresher, way better. The ingredients were fresher. It was just, it's hard to beat. It's absolutely hard to beat when you're over there eating. Cut the airfare in half if you do the transatlantic rather than a Mediterranean cruise, but maybe a side to side. Well, that was the thought, Doug. So the thought was flying over there and then doing like a back to back or a side to side and then flying home. So I know the airfare will be a little bit more expensive, but with some offers that I have through Carnival, it's definitely doable. Tess, in my opinion, Spain has the best food in the world. Yet it's hard to find in the United States. Every time I travel, I look for a good, authentic Spanish tapas restaurant. Yeah, and like that was the one thing I kept telling Scott. Like I want to eat lunch here. Like I don't want to go back on the ship and get buffet food. And I know like my food's included on the cruise ship, but I'm here for a short period of time, so I want to eat authentic and as authentic as I possibly can. It was just whether it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, no matter what you had, even if it was just tapas. You were never finding a bad meal. And like when we were in Portugal, the first stop, Ponta Delgada, we ate right outside the cruise ship. Like we didn't go far to eat. There was this little restaurant in this strip mall and there was a menu outside. So we're reading the menu and I'm like, what's chicken peri-peri? Like I have no idea what this is. So we looked it up on my phone and that's what we ended up ordering. And I'm a big French fry guy. Like I love fries. I can never... If you put a plate of fries in front of me, until you take them away, I'm going to keep eating them. Like that's just the way French fries are with me. They brought us out a mountain of French fries on a plate, and I was like a fat kid in a candy store. I was so happy. But the potato, even the potato, was this deep golden potato. It was crunchy on the outside and potatoey on the inside. Oh, it was so good. The French fries were so good, but this chicken peri-peri, it's a Portuguese style chicken. And let me tell you what, Scotty went to town on this chicken. Like I was in the middle of vlogging it and I had to stop and start eating because if I didn't, Scott would have ate it all. So we ended up ordering a full order of the original and then a half order of the spicy. If you're going to get it, go with the spicy. It's not spicy at all. It's just got a better flavor. But it was so good. Yeah, and Tess, I believe you're right. I'm pretty sure that is where it started hundreds of years ago, and it's still perfected till this day. Like, absolutely amazing. It was phenomenal. And we had the seafood paella while we were there. And Scott, some things he won't like do or eat. So he was like, you can have the big shrimp. They still had their heads on them. I was like, yeah, sucking all the juice, eating all the shrimp. It was delicious. The cuttlefish that was inside it was cooked perfect. Usually if you have like cuttlefish, which is like squid, it thicker cuts tend to be rubbery, but it was absolutely perfect. John was looking for a free cruise out of Barcelona in July, but the flights are $1,500 per person. So, John, there's a couple ways you can look for those flights and get them a little bit cheaper. I use a site called Skyscanner and then Google Flights. That's how I check all my flights, check everything out. But I'm telling you, man, check out TAP Portugal, TAP Portugal. They're relatively cheap, and we had a great experience on the flight either way. And Scott was able to move seats, so... Yeah, we had pretty decent flights. Yes, Wanda, little skinny Scott was tearing that chicken apart. Like I had to like rush and finish making my little video. There was sometimes like when we were at places and eating, and Scott knows how it goes. Like when the food comes out, I film it, I take a picture or whatever, and then he'll dig in. But there was times where Scott was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot," because the food looks so good, he just wanted to get down and eat on it. Doug, we always have room for one more on the Boats and Bros cruise. Our Boats and Bros cruise is not secluded to just close friends. It's open for any guy that wants to go and cruise and just get away for a few days. But yeah, let's touch base on that now. We're at right at the half hour mark. So I brought it up to the guys the other day. I think it was yesterday. I was looking at some itineraries, and I'm looking at the Carnival Vista out of Port Canaveral next March. It's a 6-day or 6-night. It goes to Grand Turk, Amber Cove, and Harvest Cay. That's what we're looking at. 6-day on the Carnival Vista out of Port Canaveral, Florida next March. So it's definitely going to work. It's definitely going to happen. That's the flight. That's the flight. Yeah, that's the flight. I'm still jet lagged if you haven't heard or seen or told, whatever. But that's the cruise we're looking at for next year. Boats and Bros 3. It's going to be epic. I know there's already more people signing up for next year than there is this year. I'm going to get a flyer created. Is it February? Is it February or March? I think I did it earlier than April because there was a lot more kids on the 4-day in April than there was on our Transatlantic. We only had 26 kids under the age of 21. So I did it a little earlier to where costs were a little bit cheaper, flights would have been a little bit cheaper, and it's not that hype of spring break season. So yes, February 18th of next year, February 18th of 2024 on the Carnival Vista out of Port Canaveral. Any chance of it being in April? It's tough, Doug, because like I said, we're trying to get away from that spring break time. But I can see what they got available in April. I know the costs were a little bit cheaper in February. And I know flights would have been cheaper in February, but I'll definitely consider it. It's not 100% set in stone. That's just what has been considered. And it's definitely going to be that itinerary and that ship. So that's definitely what it is, because the Vista is moving over from Texas. So that's a new ship for me. It's not a new class of ship. It's a new ship for me. So definitely want to hit the Vista up as she makes her way into Port Canaveral. Yeah, February. Listen, man, my brain's all over the place. I got so many trips to figure out and book and this, that, and the third. Chuck sent me like 50 itineraries, and he couldn't figure out which one to go with or whatever. So, but yep, February 18th, 2024, Carnival Vista, Port Canaveral. 6 nights or 6 days and 3 ports. So it's definitely going to be well worth it. It's going to be epic. Boats and Bros 3. That's what it's at. And I'm going to give you all a little bit of information. I know some of y'all are going on the booze cruise, but listen, I think after my last experience at Paradise Beach, I don't think I can ever go back to Sancho's. Now, don't shoot me. Like, don't yell at me. Don't say evil things. Don't put a curse on me. I just had such a great experience at Paradise Beach. I'm telling you, man, them spicy beef tacos are so good. So I think in October, I'm going to go to Paradise Beach. I know a couple of people already told me they committed to go to Paradise Beach, and they're pulling out of Sancho's already as it is. So I think I'm going to make the change, and I'm going to go to Paradise Beach. Yeah, I'm not saying I will never go to Paradise or never go back to Sancho's. It's just Paradise Beach, man. It's just, it's so much better. The vibe was better. Cameron drunk in the pool was hilarious. I just like the layout a lot better. And Wanda, we have a great server at Sancho's. Angel's an awesome guy. Angel's an awesome guy over there at Sancho's. But I think Paradise Beach, I got to go there again. So I think in October, I'm gonna go to Paradise Beach. And there you go, Joe Flanagan, Paradise Beach on 11/3. Happy birthday to me. Let's go, bro. Not a pool person. That's why you love Sancho's. Yeah, and I'm not a pool guy either, but they kind of spoiled me a little bit. Joe and Matt had cabanas like right there at the pool. So I was kind of like spoiled. So I don't know. And I know you can get cabanas at Sancho's, but I enjoy Paradise Beach. So I'm probably definitely going to go back there for October. Hey, Robin, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Tess is glad that the Vista is leaving and the Jubilee's coming in. Now, I can agree with you because I haven't been on the Vista, and the only way for me to get on the Vista is to go to Texas. But I'm on the Jubilee for New Year's Eve, so I'm excited for that ship to get built, get done, and get over there. Like, come on, I'm ready to go. Listen, I'm so ready. I'll show you how ready I am. You ready? Look, check it out. Where my jacket at? I got myself my own special custom OFFS John Heel jacket for me to wear. Look at that. The Nauti Cruiser. Oh, for fun's sake, for me to wear on the Jubilee. I'm so excited for New Year's Eve. That's going to be awesome because that'll be one of the first cruises. That'll be the first cruise I've ever done on New Year's Eve. So that's definitely going to be an epic trip for sure. Now, am I looking forward to flying into Texas? Not really. It's a little expensive to fly over there and then have to drive an hour to the cruise port, but that's as of right now. Hopefully flights will go down over the next few months. Cameron said 15 drinks will be done on New Year's Eve. And listen, that's the first. I'm sharing a cabin with 2 other men on that trip. Oh, that's going to be crazy. See me traveling in the house. What's going on, Kurt and Marsha? I was just talking about y'all. I was just saying how my besties were not here. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sharing a cabin with 2 grown men on that trip. I don't know. But y'all want to know what's going on with the Pride? Like, has anybody read these articles or anything like that on what's being changed on the Carnival Pride? Because I'm telling you right now, there's some amazing things coming to that ship. New Year's Eve and new ship. Can't wait. Yes, I cannot wait either. It's going to be epic. I was on the Celebration, a Transatlantic for its maiden voyage, and I'm going to hit the Jubilee. And I vow to be under the weight limit to ride Bolt. I will be riding Bolt. You've been seeing articles on the Pride popping up on Google. Yes, so there's so much being changed on the Carnival Pride in such a short time. Like, I know I touched back on it, my live a few weeks ago when I was still on the ship. Joe Flanagan, you're about to get timed out. Don't be a funny guy. Don't be a funny guy, Joe Flanagan. So after we got off, it was amazing because the way they started this process was very, very fast and super efficient and quick. So the day before we got off on a Wednesday. That Tuesday night, they started clearing out everything. I was walking around finishing a ship tour, getting some spots and some videos, some other stuff I needed for the ship tour. That spa was completely gutted out. Every hair product, every cosmetic product, everything you could think of was already in a trash bag being thrown away. They were on top of it. We get to Spain and we get to Barcelona and we're one of the first people off. Like, we were in a suite, so we had priority. We were number 1 on the luggage tags. They walked us off the ship. Boom, we get off the ship. There's like 60 workers getting ready to get on the ship, contractors with their luggage, all that, getting ready to get on the ship. I go up, I meet Scott before we get off. He's in the smoking section, and there's already contractors with their luggage on the boat. Get down, out through security and through customs. There's about 60 more of them getting ready to board the ship. So they are starting right away. They started getting workers on and getting things done on that ship. So it was definitely a very quick process, but there's a skybox on the ship. It's a bar right outside the casino. That is no longer going to be there. That is now going to be turned into the Heroes Lounge. So that's pretty epic. The whole buffet, the whole Lido deck is getting completely redone. So that mermaid theme buffet they got going on is going to be completely gone, ripped out. It's going to be new. The casino bar is going to be done with. They're replacing that. They're replacing a lot of furnishings, a lot of fixtures, a lot of the carpet. They're adding 200 new ADA compliant things, whether that's balconies or lower bar counters, ramps. So there's going to be 200 new ADA additions onto the ship. Not all necessarily cabins, but things are going to be changed. The one thing I unfortunately am sad about is David's Steakhouse is no longer David's Steakhouse. It's going to be Fahrenheit 555. So I'm absolutely glad that I was able to get into David's Steakhouse twice, not once, but twice before they got rid of it. So that was pretty cool. So David's Steakhouse is now Fahrenheit 555. The whole Lido deck is getting completely redone. Pixels was still like the old school Pixels where they would take your pictures and they would put them out every day and all that. That's now going to be digital. So they're moving into the 20th century now with the Pixels gallery there. So that's pretty epic. But has anybody been on a Carnival cruise since the new year? Like any gold or platinum members? Have anybody been on since the new gifts and things like that and the new pins have came out? The weight limit is 300 pounds for Bolt, and I'm over that. So it's 300 pounds per rider. But if you're over 300 and you're riding by yourself, they still won't let you go. So, but the new pins have came out with Carnival for 2023. And it is absolutely epic. They are so cool. Like, I'm not platinum yet, but I got platinum gifts on my last cruise. I may have begged somebody for platinum gifts. It's not the point. I got platinum gifts. So I got the new platinum VIFP pin to show y'all. And I got the gold VIFP pin for myself, which is new. So I'll grab them and I'll show y'all them because they are absolutely epic. So now for all y'all that know, when you hit gold on Carnival, you get the VIFP pin, right? So you get the custom pin, whatever it may be. This is the VIFP pin for the gold members. And let me take it out of the plastic. So this is the VIFP pin for the gold members. It's all neon. It's got that Miami vibe to it. Definitely cooler than the old blue pin that they used to give out. Focus. So it's definitely a sleeker looking pin. And what's cool with it is they have them on postcards now. So you can keep the pin, fill out the postcard, send it to a friend, a family, a loved one, tell them you wish they were there. It's just a nicer pin. So like, I'm so stoked that Carnival changed the pins for 2023. They're pretty sick. And with the ship specific pins for Platinum and Diamond guests, they kept with that Miami vibe. So for the Pride, this is the ship specific pin for the Carnival Pride for Platinum and Diamond guest. Now, like I said, I am neither. I will be in July, but I have some pretty awesome friends that were on the ship and hooked me up. That is the ship specific pin. Now, everything you see here, the lettering wise, that's green, so it's going to flow in with the green screen. But for Platinum and Diamond guests, the ship specific pins have ship names on them. This one's the Carnival Pride VIFP Club. It's got a flamingo on it with a palm tree and a wow town. It says 2023. So this design is pretty slick. Like, it's pretty awesome. And I have this and the fanny pack to do a giveaway with. So details will follow about that. So yes, the ship specific pin does have the ship name on it, Doug. However, the gold pins are just basic across the whole fleet, but they're still a pretty sick, cool looking pin. And I think 2023's design is nicer than 2022's design was. So yeah, I'm definitely I'm trying to take stock out in Carnival pins. So that's my goal for the next few months. And my next cruise is on the Luminosa, so I really can't wait to see what that ship-specific pin looks like. But it's the little things that get me excited. Like this right here, Scott was like, cool, and gave me his one gold pin because I told him I wanted to do a giveaway. And he only kept one. So, Scott, you're the man, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think the pins are a lot nicer. Wanda, you have the Venezia and Spirit next. So, but you're far away from Platinum, right? I think I've seen a comment. They said you were far away from Platinum. That's the pin she got. She loves it. But I think she's far away from Platinum. I can't read all the way back up there. It's confusing me when I'm staring into a live light. But either way, them gold pins are pretty sick. So I'm very happy. 41 days on Carnival. So you're not that far away. Yeah, I mean, being nice goes a long way, Doug. So a lot of people don't realize that, and they're like, but yeah, being nice does go a long way. However, on this trip, me being nice did not go a long way. They wouldn't give them to me. But however, well, let me not say that. They gave me 2 gold pins on the second leg of the trip, but they wouldn't give me the platinum one. But I had some awesome friends on there. Larry and Elaine Thomas, they gave me a whole setup. They gave me a pin and a fanny pack. This wonderful couple from Scotland, the wife gave me a fanny pack and a pin, and then the guy they were cruising with, Jay from Canada, he was pretty cool. He gave me a pin and a fanny pack too. So I met some awesome people that definitely hooked it up. They definitely came in clutch, and they gave me the platinum gift and the platinum pin, which was pretty epic and very much appreciated. 41 days on Carnival. You'll probably make platinum next year. So I'll make platinum this year. And when we were on the cruise, we were trying to figure it out. I thought I was 2 days away from platinum at the end of this one, but I'm 7 days. So I'm trying to figure out a couple quick little 3-day trips over the next month, 2 months. So that way I know for sure when I jump on the Luminosa in July, I'll definitely be at platinum. Yeah, Larry must have every pin that cruise line puts out. I mean, listen, Larry's first, we were talking, I think he said his first cruise was 2017 with Carnival. So Larry and Elaine got the diamond pretty quick with the last couple of years and the trips they have made. And I tell you what, man, it's having dinner with Larry and Elaine. Like, they invited us to the diamond lunch. That was an awesome experience. And just being able to have dinner with them. We didn't do it every night because, some nights the menu wasn't, catching your eye or something you didn't want or whatever. But it was great just to have dinner with them and talk about the day and the port stops and seeing them when we were out in port and just conversating and having somebody that you knew was on the ship with you and sat down and had dinner with or brunch or even buffet or whatever, pizza. It was nice to have them on there. Scott's got 5 days till platinum. Yep. Yeah. He's closer than I am. Spirit, Celebration, Jubilee, then Friends. Yeah, need something for fall of 24. I haven't looked into that far yet, Tess. So I don't. All I have up to right now is the New Year's Eve cruise. That's all I got booked up to. Booked up to right now. Yeah, and I'm the same way, Wanda. Like I don't. I've recently have been cruising Carnival because of the offers, but I'm platinum on Princess Cruise Line, so I've hit up different cruise lines. Yeah, that's 2024 test. The Venezia 12 nights to Southern Caribbean out of New York. Yeah, Cameron's got that booked for his birthday. "14 days on Princess next year. I think that's the highest level on any cruise." I love Princess. Princess is one of my favorite cruise lines. That's where I started cruising when I was a kid. It's just next level. Now, a New England cruise would be nice. I had that on my itinerary. I was supposed to do that in September of last year. Me and my daughter were supposed to do that, and then she was like, "Dad, I want to go on the Mardi Gras." So we switched it and we did the Mardi Gras instead of the Magic, because we were originally scheduled on the Magic out of New York. But we went on the Mardi Gras, which was fine with me. It was cheaper. I didn't have to pay for airfare. So Dad was able to save some money. Yeah, there's no such thing anymore since the pandemic about loyalty with cruise lines. I mean, I'm loyal to the next one. If I can get a good deal with Royal Caribbean, then I'll go with Royal. If I can get, which I have been getting a lot of emails from Virgin, I'll definitely hit it with Virgin. I'm technically elite on Princess too, but earned I'm platinum. Yeah, and that's the thing with me, Tess. Like they keep throwing me free offers. Like the offers they're giving me, it's hard to say no. So when I can go on a transatlantic for 13 days for two people and pay less than $500, I mean it's a no-brainer who you want to jump on and go with, right? Like it'd be different if other cruise lines were throwing those offers like that. Then I would jump on other cruise lines. But $500 for a 13-day cruise, I mean, it's pretty epic to not be. I've been on MSC. I've enjoyed MSC. I've enjoyed Princess. I've enjoyed Margaritaville at Sea, if you want to call that a cruise line. I mean, we'll just call that a cruise ship. But it's nice. Princess is one of my favorites. Princess is just like more of a laid back, like it's an older, not necessarily like your older crowd, but it's just like it's more chill. Like with Carnival, you don't have to find a party. You're always gonna you have to find like that quiet spot, right? With Princess, you'd have to find the party. You always have the quiet spot. So it's definitely that cruise line where you can get more time to relax and still have a great experience. Still great food, great entertainment, great music, great dining, great Lido space, great spa. Everything's still great. But if you're a person that wants to party, you have to constantly find that party. But Princess is epic. It's one of my favorites. And till this day, I'll tell you until I'm blue in the face, I think Princess got the best pizza in the world. Maybe not in the world. Italy's probably got some great pizza, but Princess got the best pizza at sea. And I've had Margaritaville. I've had MSC, Carnival, Princess, and Princess is Luigi's. Oh my God, that pizza is so good. Not Luigi's, Alfredo's. Alfredo's pizza. No, you're right, Doug. You can't buy food. Even if you go to the supermarket and buy food for 13 days, it's still going to cost you $500. And then you got to cook it, which is going to cost you more. It's insane the offers that they're giving me. So for me to book a transatlantic cruise for that price for two people in a suite, nonetheless, like we're not talking an inside cabin or a balcony, a basic balcony. We're talking an ocean suite. Like we had a bathtub, we had a separate vanity space, we had double closets. You know, it was a great room, and you'll see that in the ship tour and the room tour. But it was definitely a no-brainer to book that cruise. And that's the one thing with like Princess Wanda. Scott's first Princess cruise was last February. And when we went and did formal night for lobster night, he was like, "This ain't like Carnival. They take the lobster shell off for you. Like they come around and they cut the lobster out the shell. Carnival, you're just like manhandling out the shell yourself." You'll find the fun social atmosphere on Princess. It's there. It's definitely there. It's not like it's tough because like a lot of people are like, oh, well, Princess is for older people. Princess is not. It's like the next. It's you can't say it's Carnival's Cunard because Cunard's Carnival, but it's like your posh cruise line. So formal night, you can't show up like you would on some people on a Carnival cruise line. Like it's, you know, definitely your next level up, but it's so worth it. If you've never done Princess, even as a solo cruiser, definitely do give Princess a shot. Princess is definitely one of those lines to hit, whether you're a solo cruiser or not. Yeah, you can always find the party on Princess. You know, you're always going to have that quiet spot and that quiet place, but that party, you'll have to find it, and you will. Like the Caribbean Princess is one of my favorite ships, and that ship still has what's called Skywalker's nightclub. So it's an old school, it's an older ship, but on the aft end of the ship, 100 feet above sea level, is the nightclub. Absolutely gorgeous, phenomenal. But they have nightclubs, they have all that on the ships. It's still great. Hey, nautical nurse Nancy in the house. No reason to be late. No reason to be late. Welcome back to you as well. I know you had a phenomenal couple cruises that you just got back from, and I can't wait to hear about that. In 8 minutes, y'all. 8 minutes, we need to go over and raid Nautical Nurse Nancy's channel as she goes live with what I'm assuming is going to be a recap of her last couple weeks with cruising. Yeah, so Doug, you cruised when you were in your 20s, and the ships that are no longer in service anymore. Was Captain Stubing your captain back in your 20s when you were on Princess? And was Julie your cruise director? Because those ships are no longer in service. You're absolutely right. But no, I love Princess, man. It's one of those lines that is always going to hold that spot in my heart as the very first cruise line I've ever been on. And it was absolutely epic. So if anybody is considering Princess, yeah, definitely consider it. Has Tony been on Princess? Tony's been on a ton of Princess cruises. Yeah, Tony's been on Princess. The cruise Scotty was on last February was a Lolly to Look a group cruise on the wasn't the Enchanted Princess, Sky Princess. Yeah, Sky Princess, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, it was great. How's Tony? Tony's good. Tony just got home on Sunday. He's had an epic trip as well. So if y'all haven't been following Lolly to Loca's crazy adventure, y'all need to too. So he's done some pretty epic stuff over the last couple weeks, and man, and he kind of made me feel like I wasn't doing half the fun stuff he was, but he's seen some epic ports, he's seen some epic places, man, and he had a blast on Holland America. You can just tell by watching his content, dude had an awesome time. He's all over the place, and I can't wait to see what he does next. It's just amazing. So Doug had Stubings on while they did a cruise out of LA to Mexico, but none of the other ones were on. So the Ruby Princess, not the Ruby Princess, the Regal Princess was the very first ship that they named like the Love Boat. So it was like the Regal and the Royal class. I've been on the Regal Princess so many times. That's one of my favorite Princess ships. The Caribbean Princess always holds a sweet spot in my heart. It was one of the very first Princess ships I've been on. I've been on the Sky Princess, the Caribbean Princess, the Star Princess, the Sun Princess, the Golden Princess, the Grand Princess, and the Regal Princess. Yeah, Tony B's got some amazing stuff. Oh, you were asking about Anthony. You were asking about Nautical Nurse Nancy's Anthony. I don't know. I haven't talked to Anthony. So, Nancy, you want to tell the people how Anthony's doing? I know he had that procedure done. Wanda was on the Discovery Princess last year. Gorgeous ship. Yeah, it's. Oh my God, you got me ready to go book another cruise. Yeah, I love Princess, man. I can't wait to get on another Princess ship. I have a free one. I have to just figure out what I want to do, where I want to go, what I want to see. The Pacific Princess and the Sun Princess, I believe. They used two different ships for the Love Boat, but the Pacific Princess was one of them. But Princess is the cruise line I'm looking at for my Japan itinerary. So, and I just told y'all I was looking at a Japan itinerary. I'm not looking at a Japan itinerary for 2024. I'm not looking at anything in the South Pacific for 2024. But yeah, no, for real. I'm looking at Japan in 2024 on Princess, on the Diamond Princess. So that's the one thing I'm looking at. But I put it on hold because I got a little bit of news the other day. MSC is committed to sailing from Japan year round, but not only sailing from Yokohama. They're talking about sailing from Yokohama, which is Tokyo, and a couple other different ports in Japan that give you different views and itineraries of Japan. So I've put that on hold for a few days until I see whether or not MSC drops some more information on their release of Japan sailing. So a 365-day a year commitment to sailing from Japan sounds pretty epic. And MSC does, they are one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest option cruise line out there right now, breaking ground into North America. There was another one that was brought up to me today. I believe it was in 2024, might be 2025. And that is cruising on MSC's new ship on the inaugural, the World Euphoria or whatever it may be. I don't have all the details, so I don't want to talk about it and be wrong. But y'all, I appreciate y'all for being here. Please consider smashing that like button and sharing this out with some family, friends, some loved ones, whoever it may be. I'm so glad that I am home and I get to talk with y'all. Tess, you'll get there. 49 days is not that far away, but I'd jump on one this weekend if I could. But y'all go on over to Nautical Nurse Nancy's page. Y'all show her some love. Hashtag Naughty Panty Raid is what you say when you get over there. I appreciate each and every one of you. Doug, enjoy your dinner. Joe, enjoy your night. And we'll definitely get the Tahiti as the locadors. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, y'all know what to do. Stay naughty. Peace.